everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Fran. I create content on self-love, personal growth, and conscious living and everything I've learned on my own healing journey. So I started with occasional binge eating when I was in my teenage years, which later developed into bulimia, one type of eating disorder, for about 15 years. And this is a topic I have been personally committed to through self-education and professional guidance. If you're watching this video, chances are that you probably have just binged. I know you're at this low energy state right now. You blame yourself for everything you've ate. And I wanted to give you a hug because I know how you're feeling. I know how disastrous you feel underneath. Tip number 1, don't diet. I know right now you're in a vulnerable state. I feel you. I know you're probably thinking about 1,000 ways on your mind to try to compare each and every compensatory actions that you might take to offset the calories you have just taken in. Because the easiest thing for us to do is just to starve ourselves for a couple of days with no cost, right? And it's comparatively safe. But I wanted to remind you that extreme diet in essence is a form of purging. Because one thing purging behaviors have in common is the intention to offset the calories during the binge eating episodes. With this intention to starve ourselves, we would feel mentally and physically ripped off. We would feel unsatisfied, which directly paves the way towards another full-blown binge. So it's helpless and hopeless, and it's a never-ending cycle to us. Before you know it, it will be turned into habit, and it would also affect the way of our thinking. We will start to question our own value after endless futile attempts. So please take care of yourself. Don't diet. You won't put on as much as weight as you thought you were going to. If you're wondering about the extra weight that you put on, I will explain in detail later in this video. But in essence, for the next couple of days, please go back to your ordinary eating schedule. Don't diet. Even if after a binge you probably don't have that much appetite for heavy stuff, but just take something light. Eat food in high fiber and vitamin and drink lots of water so you will feel better. But do not take extreme measures like only eat 1 apple a day or stuff like that. In addition, if you take really good care of your body knows exactly how to work smartly for you. For example, during holiday season when I'm at home, I would eat those big home-prepared and savory meals. I wouldn't consider it as binge eating because I think that's a social ritual, and big family eating occasion would be the best way for bonding and connection. For the next couple of days after the big meals, I would feel like my body temperature just rises for a bit, and also my palm sweats a lot easily. And that's my body responding to the extra calories I took in during the big meals. It's expediting the metabolism just to try to burn off those calories for me. You need to trust your body. Your body itself is very smart. It knows exactly what you need and how to serve you at your best interest. Tip number 2, don't purge. Normally after a binge eat, our brain would automatically search for extreme methods so we can offset the calories we take in. And purging behaviors are most likely to happen because they are pretty effective, at least for us mentally, so that we can feel like nothing have happened. The degree of purging varies because some people probably do it only occasionally and some people do it in a very compulsive way, and the frequency is very high. According to a British psychiatrist, Dr. Christopher Fairburn, who devoted years into studying binge eating disorders, the most common forms of purging after binge eating are self-induced vomit, laxatives, and over-exercise, all of which can cause great physical harms. To be specific, when it comes to self-induced vomiting, according to studies, it can cause electrolyte abnormalities. At the same time, during vomiting, stomach acid reflux can contribute to dental cavities by eroding tooth enamel and lead to frequent heartburn and abdominal pain or nausea. When it comes to overuse of laxatives, it wasn't safe either. Severe dehydration can happen. There can also be damages to internal organ, the normal functionality of colon, bowel, and rarely, if possible, liver. And another form of purge and over-exercising may sound safe, but when we use it as a buffer to make up for binge eating to a point that it robs the pure pleasure of exercise and decrease our life quality in the name of healthy style. I think we all began to question, is it really a pleasure for us to work out? Do we actually enjoy it? Do we feel resistance going to the gym when our bodies are already in extreme fatigue? Or do we find ourselves engaged in all sorts of procrastination? I wanted to encourage all to take an honest look at your workout routine and see the degree of purging got involved inside. Mentally, knowing that we have this option of purging, it allows us to go way out of control during the binge. We tell ourselves that it's okay to go crazy during the binge because we can always make up for it. The mentality of Last Supper would kick in, which feels like, well, since we're gonna go militant diet after this, we should eat all while we can, and we should eat everything like it's the last supper we're ever gonna have. And it kind of just triggers another full-blown binge and sets up the cycle. And according to Dr. Christopher Fairburn, purging under this scenario can be both the consequence and reason for your next binge. It starts this loop. Let's look at this picture together. So we go on diet because of our concern about body shape and weight. And starvation and the mental unsatisfaction can set off another binge because it triggers our survival mode due to the lack of food. Knowing we have the option of compensatory purging, we go even harder on the binge. Afterwards, we use extreme purging methods like self-induced vomit, laxatives use, and over-exercise to try to offset the binge eating episode. It will intensify our concern about the body shape and weight after the binge. The ultimate consequence can be like this. Interval between each binge eating episode becomes shorter and each binge becomes more uncontrollable. If you're interested in knowing about how to start purging behaviors, I will discuss in depth in my upcoming videos. Tip number 3, don't scrutinize your body. One way we do this is by being obsessive about body weight. For example, after binge eating, we are desperately wanting to find out what the consequences are. Have we put on weight at all? It's likely to happen that our scale shoots up 3 to 5 extra pounds, and then we start to freak out because we thought that equaled the fat we put on. As I mentioned, that 3 to 5 extra pounds does not equal fat we've put on. And you may wonder, if it's not fat, why the hell did I put on so much? Let me explain in detail. According to scientific studies, it takes about 7,700 calories for us to put on 1 kilogram fat. Let's make this example very extreme, that you did consume that many calories during the binge. But also keep in mind that your body requires extra 4,500 calories to turn the extra glycogen that your body wasn't able to consume into actual fat. Hence, be reassured, it's highly unlikely that you put on that much weight over one binge eating episode. Weight gain is more likely to be the result of a long-term process. My advice on this is do not weigh yourself after the binge, especially for the first couple of days, because the scale does not serve you when you are trapped in this low energy state, when you are preoccupied and obsessive about body image and your weight. I know you probably think that avoidance is not probably the best idea because mentally you are still wondering and exaggerating the pounds that you've put on. If you do weigh yourself, just keep in mind and get your mindset right that whatever says on the scale does not actually reflect your body fat level. Another way we scrutinize our body is to consistently look for social comparison. After binge eating, we normally would feel discouraged and desperately wanting to search for some remedy and false hopes of losing weight. And I myself used to be very compulsive in looking at pictures of fitness models so that I could find counsel that I could be like them one day. Walking under attention every day with seemingly casual outfits and half-seen abs and stuff. When you study that carefully of body parts, you will be able to find anything. You will find other people's seemingly perfect traits. Also, at the same time, you will find yours who fail miserably to try to meet up these unrealistic beauty standards. You will hate your body parts. You will berate it. And especially that you had just binged, you had just consumed those high sodium, high sugar, and high carbs food. Those food can make you feel bloated, they make you feel heavy, and probably you also suffer from a bad night's sleep due to indigestion from the large amount of food that you had. And this is where the self-loathing part would hit you the hardest. Please stop over-focusing on certain parts of your body, because this heaviness and fullness is only temporary. And if you are searching for those success stories online of weight loss and how people successfully diet and only eat healthy food, you are doomed to feel like failures. You are doomed to feel like you lack self-discipline and self-control. And as I've mentioned in my video, Why We Binge Eat, the most dangerous trap is when we would define ourselves as successful, when we achieve certain calorie goal and successfully eat healthily, or else we would see ourselves as failure, because as a result, self-trust and confidence are gradually eroded. Please don't get mad at yourself, because self-love and compassion are essential for you to get out of this low energy trap. The best mindset is to not see it as a failure, to treat each binge eating episode as a learning experience. For example, when I was getting my treatment for bulimia, one type of eating disorder, as I mentioned in other videos, I have been a binge eater for about 15 years. It was quite difficult for me because during the treatment, I still binge eat. I would still get relapses just when I was feeling okay, when I was feeling like, wow, I was getting recovered and stuff. What made me feel better and made me decide to continue with this recovery process was mindset. I learned not to define each binge eating episode, not to define each relapse as a failure. I learned to treat it as a learning experience. I kept a journal during the process so that I get to study myself like a course. I get to study each trigger. I get to study the pattern so that I get a chance to tackle them one by one. I have confidence in all of you to overcome binge eating, because there's hope ahead of you. One day you will make peace with food. Please take care of yourself, please love your body, and please love your mistakes, because they are the best teachers towards light. Alright my friends, thanks for watching this video. I hope it's helpful. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.